WXRK, New York.
Good morning. This is Edward Lewis, the operations manager and head representative of WXRK Radio. In recent weeks, there have been lots of rumors and speculation about the Howard Stern Show ending before December. Well, the speculation is over, and regrettably, so is the Howard Stern Show. Viacom decided that due to Howard's move to another broadcast medium, we should change the nature of the morning broadcast as rapidly as possible, for two reasons. Number one, to give the audience its new host for morning radio for the next 5 years. And secondly, to give our advertisers the chance to see that there is hope to put on an entertaining radio show without Howard Stern. So without further ado, we give you our new morning host, David Lee Roth.
When Howard Stern and crew came back from vacation, summer vacation in 2005, on the morning of July 18th, 2005, this is what the audience heard. A fake operations manager telling the audience that the plug had been pulled early on the Howard Stern Show. He was denied a real goodbye with his FM audience, and that's just the way it is. David Lee Roth is now the morning man, the opener for the day. It was a prank, of course, and a prank they'd pulled about a year and a half earlier, I believe. I believe they did this in 2004. Let me check Mark's friggin'. Yes, they did it April Fool's Day 2004 when Cross and Lopez replaced Howard Stern. They certainly did it again in 2025 with Andy Cohen, which is was not as funny as it was the morning of July 18th, 2005.
Stern may be gone, but the party lives on with the Diamond David Lee Roth Show.
Hello, Radio Land, the one, the only, the unmistakably original Diamond David Lee Roth here on your Monday morning. Wow!
Now, some of you probably recognize Billy Mira's impression right away, but in 2005, a lot of people were falling for this.
To my man Howard Stern, I want to say hasta luego, baby. It's David Lee Roth on the new Diamond Radio. I'm the latest sensation across the nation. Just a gigolo on your radio station. That's D as in David and D on your dial. D as in DJ, because I'm crazy and wild.
I think we can all agree that if the real David Lee Roth, if his show had been like this, it might have been successful.
The time has come for a new superstar, and that's David Lee Roth, not Sammy Hagar. So stay tuned, my friends, and enjoy the show. It's DLR on Diamond David Radio. Hummla babbla zeebla bubbla hummla babbla zeebla bop. Diamond David Radio is here, ready to rock. The party has arrived with the new Jew in town. Grab your spandex and let's get down.
It's amazing that anybody fell for this. But I guess it comes down to that fundamental rule of all great pranks that, the best lies have an element of truth. A lie is wrapped in a core of truth, or at least a prank. And in 2005, like the entire radio industry, every Stern fan, even the general public, everyone knew that Howard Stern was moving to satellite radio. So the relationship between Howard and CBS, or I guess Infinity Broadcasting, whatever the hell they were called back then, the audience was already braced for this kind of messy corporate divorce. And Howard had already sprinkled this in before, that he didn't even think they were going to get a goodbye show. He thought, they're just going to pull us. They're just take us off the air one of these days. They're just going to retire of all these FCC fines, even though I don't think they had been fined at all in 2005, suspended once. But this prank worked because the public was already primed for this happening, for waking up one day and Howard having been replaced with, if not David Lee Roth, and Adam Carolla or somebody else. Could have been anybody. Don and Mike. Anybody. People were ready for this.
Okay, you're on the line with David Lee Roth. We have Kim on the line. Hey, Kim, how you doing?
This is Kelly.
Hey, Kelly, how you doing, sweetheart?
I'm not going to lie. I've been a little bit better. This is the poorest excuse for talent that I've ever heard in my life. and I don't understand. I don't understand you. I don't understand what happened to Howard. Yeah.
All right, listen. You're going to have to bear with me here. We got a new show going on. There's new things happening.
You suck. You have no talent.
All right, listen. We're going to have to keep the show rolling right now. You know, everybody's got to understand.
Goodbye. Leave.
Whoa, she's still on the line. Let's get rid of that one and go to the next caller. Who do we have? Let me see. What do we got on the line? Who's next?
This sucks.
All right, whoops. Okay, we got to let that guy go. We have to go to the next caller. Next caller, you're on the air with David Lee Roth. What do you have to say, my friend?
Oh, my God, dude. Is this a joke? You got to be kidding me. Please.
Listen, this is not a joke. I knew we were going to have to deal with stuff like this.
The callers falling for the prank are the best part. And then David Lee Roth brings in Irene from Russia, a stripper from Scores, as his co-host, as his Robin. And the entire morning is just gold. It's just classic radio gold.
All right, my new co-host, Irene. Irene, say hello to America, baby!
Hey! How are you tonight? Oh, I'm sorry. Good morning, everybody.
It's good morning to you, and it's a good morning sitting next to you, Irene. You know, I mean, you have a little bit of an accent. Where are you from? Tell everybody, because you're going to be their new friend. These are all your new friends across America right now, so I want you to talk to them and tell them a little bit about yourself.
I'm from all over the place. I've been actually born in former Soviet Union, which we call Russia.
So you knocked down the Great Wall, baby.
Yes. I've been living in the United States for like 15 years.
Wow, 15 years now.
I hope you're going to like it.
Well, I'm going to like you, honey.
Oh, I'm sure you like it.
Let me ask you a question. What is it about me you find sexy?
This has been going on for a while now. They've already had a commercial break. People are pissed. Like this, you got to put yourself back in the mindset of 2005. You know, there were no podcasts around, no streaming services. Like in the morning, you listen to the radio, and Howard was on FM radio, and you could just pick him up in most American, well, not most American cities, but in a lot of American cities, you could pick up Howard. And I guess there were podcasts, but there were no smartphones, so not everyone was using a podcast. You weren't getting in your car and plugging in a device to listen to people talking. You were putting on the radio. And to have these two take over the airwaves as the new show, as David Lee Roth, like Howard kicked off months early. For its time, it was a great prank, and Billy Mira as David Lee Roth is always hilarious.
You know, a lot of people come to me, they say, Dave, you party a lot. They say, Dave, you party too much. They say, Dave, you over-excess things. They say, Dave, you get into too many things. They say, Dave, you get into too much trouble. And I look them straight back in the eye, and I say to them, some people look at life as the glass being half full or half empty. I say the glass is half empty, so I have an excuse to pour more Jack Daniels to get to the next day. Wow! Whoa!
Of course, eventually, Howard Stern has to call in to the show, into Diamond David Lee Roth's K-Rock show. And notice how different his voice sounds without all that compression. At first, you don't even recognize him. If it wasn't for Billy Mira building him up, I'd be like, oh, this caller is Howard? Oh, didn't even know.
We have somebody very special, a mystery guest that's on the phone right now. This is a very important moment in the show. We're going to introduce him right now. I'm just going to let him introduce himself.
Well, there's no big introduction, Dave, needed, because this is Howard, and man, I don't even know what to say, because first of all, thank you for letting me call in. You know, I've said I knew all along I was going to be blown out of the radio station. I just don't think it was cool that Viacom, you know, blew me out without letting me say goodbye to my audience. I mean, you do 20 years on the radio.
It's funny. It's just a prank, but, you know, it gives Howard a good excuse to knock Viacom and continue this mantra of, 20 years of being a great employee, never mind the FCC fines. But in this safe environment of 2005, Howard calling in does add a little bit of the weight to the prank, gives Diamond Dave a little more realism, although still, like, looking back, 21 years later. How is that? How did anyone fall for this?
And I wish you a lot of luck, but I just don't think it's cool to say goodbye over a phone call.
I just don't want it to be.
I don't know who that chick is, but Irene. Irene, I don't want to hear you because it's not sad for me. Where I'm going, this isn't me going to Siberia. This is me saying goodbye, but I would have preferred to say goodbye on my show. I mean, I get a call while I'm on vacation. Don't bother showing up because David Lee Roth has replaced me, and that's cool.
The prank on the audience goes further, as Howard explains.
Robin just got the call this morning. She was on her way in.
Right.
Which is totally crazy.
Well, listen, I don't want this.
She's nuts.
I don't want this to become a war of the words between me and you. A Thriller in Manila. Or no rumble in the jungle between us. It's not a me against you type of thing, Howard. You understand?
I'm not saying that, brother.
Of course, since Howard's call does add that realism to it, Diamond Dave takes phone calls. Let's see what the fans think.
Hey, listen, man, you had your shot at it, and it's time for some new blood. But you know what? We'll put a caller on, and we'll see how the callers feel. Brian, you're on the air with David Lee Roth.
Dude, you're a washed-up rocker who needs Ritalin. Get off the air and get Howard back on. This better be a joke.
Howard's still on the air with Dave as he takes calls, and you can kind of see the logic of the CBS lawsuit later when they sue Howard, saying that he was trying to sell satellite radios using his, 4-hour time slot in the morning on K-Rock. And you can see an argument on both sides, like, why leave him on the air? What the hell else was he supposed to talk about other than that he's moving the Sirius? But then at the same time, this prank is basically telling audiences, like, listen, CBS has pulled Howard, go get satellite right now.
This is what happened because of the FCC. The show is over, but I'm moving to a new and greener pastures. And Dave, I do appreciate you letting me on, but I don't agree with management just taking the show off.
Well, listen, Howard, it's not my fault. Howard's out, and the new king is in, baby. The new king is here.
Woohoo!
Good luck to you, man, being the king. I think it's a little premature to say that.
I'm like a light bulb full of energy, you know. And it's,
there are better moments. I just don't want to hear Howard sell radios. Figured find a clip with at least Billy Muir being at least somewhat funny. It's hard to be funny on terrestrial radio in 2005. In fact, in 2005, the Howard Stern show is mostly just Howard Stern bitching and complaining, limited by the FCC and management. So I think I actually would have preferred the sensational Diamond David Lee Roth show.
Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're all back on the David Lee Roth Show. Wow! Yeah! Irene, step up to the mic and say hello.
Hello, everybody. Good morning again.
My new beautiful, sexy co-host, Irene. Can I see these beautiful melons, honey?
Right here. Oh, let's feel them. Let me feel your hair.
Oh, yes, you can feel
it. I love it.
I've always loved Russian dressing, but Irene's making me want to see her Russian undressed.
I always loved you.
I've seen thousands, and those are in the top 40.
I love these non sequiturs, just broken up by little clips of Van Halen music or Van Halen type of music. But eventually, Tom Chiusano has to come in and says, how happy he is to have Dave there.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce the first time on the David Lee Roth Show. Get ready for Tommy C and the place to be. It's Bleep Free Radio, baby. That's right, Tom. Hey, say hello, Tom.
Dave, I'm really excited to have you here because now I can sleep in later. I don't have to worry about coming up and editing the show and all that kind of stuff. It's really going to make my life a lot easier.
No more dumps, no more beeps, no more lesbos or retarded freaks or anything like that. It's Diamond Dave Radio.
You know what people don't realize is when that event happened in Cleveland years ago and they cut the line, they weren't worried about Howard. They were worried about you.
That's right. Yeah, that's it, Tommy. You're to my way of thinking. To me, are you a fan of Van Halen?
Oh, absolutely.
That's what I like to hear.
I love your song Leap. That was great.
Oh, that's great.
You know, with Tommy C, the only dump you get is the dump air for breakfast. That's the only dump we're going to get over here. You know, and I'm going to say something, another thing. I'm not going to call you.
I want to say something right now. David, I want to say something right now.
What? What's this?
This is Howard, and we're back live. Tom, you traded. You know, Robin, you there?
And like that, the prank is over. Howard returns, Robin returns, Artie returns. They all return. And they talk about how that's probably how it's going to go down. Bong hit. Eric calls in. He says after doing a couple of bong hits, he thought there was some angel dust laced in his weed. Apparently other phone calls coming in at the back office were saying that Dave's show is better than Howard's, which, you know, in late 2005, you know, you can make that case. That was pretty funny. It was the novelty of it. It was the novelty. Of course, this prank is also a little bittersweet. Billy Mira's role in the Howard Stern show has been flawless, but it's also it's been affected by the Howard Stern transition, the evolution into a more polished, celebrity-friendly format that nobody likes. How Billy Mira went from anchoring this great prank to just being phased out basically tells you the story of the Howard Stern show, or at least his shifting relationship with his own roots. But overall, this prank is it's a great time capsule. You know, it illustrates this lost ecosystem, this media ecosystem. You know, in July 2005, Stern was supposed to come back from vacation on July 18th, and instead you get Diamond Dave. And, you know, you couldn't just pull up Twitter or X or whatever, Facebook. There was no subreddit. Yeah, I guess you could use the Stern Fan Network, but like you didn't really know if this broadcast was fake or not. In fact, later in the show, they play some clips from the media, even though it was 6 a.m. Some morning shows had picked up on it and like, is this real? Oh.
And speaking of up and away, up and gone, Howard Stern is now out. Officially out. Wow. David Lee Roth taking over WYSP. The news is just breaking. Much more coming up later today at noon and throughout the morning. Have a good day, everybody.
The early show is next.
Thanks so much for starting your day with us. We'll see you back here at noon. Have a great day.
Wow.
Good morning. See you.
That's cool.
Oh, that's fun.
So there's one for that guy that said nobody was buying it. Yeah, Robin said his newsman's turning around right now. See, I was going to go with the David Lee Roth thing for the whole morning.
If you'd have gone till 8, you'd have gotten a lot more.
Oh, yeah, they'd have been here at the door.
Yeah. But then I thought, well, people do want to hear us back on the air.
But interesting enough that, you know, David Lee Roth did take over the show at K-Rock. This wasn't, I don't believe this was official until October of 2005, if I got my facts straight. But you can let me know in the comments if I'm wrong. Otherwise, you let me know what some of your favorite Howard Stern moments are, and maybe I'll make a video on it.
Wonderful.
I'm back on top, baby. That's it, you know. I got the wiffle weights out, and I'm warming up, you know, and I'm getting ready, because this is it. We're taking over, me and you, Irene.
You mean we? That's what I was trying to say.
That's right. That's right. Me, myself, and Irene. You've heard about it? That's right. They even did a movie about it. You know what? Eat your heart out, Eddie. I'm the dancer of the airwaves. That's it. We're bigger than the London bombings.